How's everybody doing? Today's video is my formal review of the Sawtooth ST-M24-SBK. That is the low-end Michael Angelo Batio signature model, meaning on the cheapest rung that he has. And with that being said, this guitar, I have to say, I said this in my unboxing video, that I was very skeptical of this brand at first, and I have to say that this guitar, at least this very guitar that I have here, punches way above its price point. As you can see, it's kind of it has almost, to me, kind of a Charvel vibe going on, although for like a third or a fourth of the price. So this guitar has a maple neck, maple fretboard, sycamore body. This is the first guitar I've ever had with a sycamore body. I think it was a cost choice for them to use sycamore because it's still naturally abundant and you don't have to farm it necessarily. It's very non-traditional to use that for a wood, but it doesn't seem to really have a big drawback. To me, it sounds closest to poplar, although maybe 5% less bright for a body wood, if that makes sense. It's actually a very good sounding guitar. You've got the two humbuckers. There's no coil tapping, you just have one volume, one tone, and a three-way. So very simple layout, as you might expect for an entry-level type guitar, although this, like I said, where it does not seem entry-level is the fit and finish of the neck and fretwork. So I played this guitar yesterday for about 30-45 minutes and really just hammered on it as hard as I could, trying to just get a sense of it, if it had any drawbacks, by just throwing everything I had at it. And aside from the fact that it's really not my cup of tea as far as a guitar layout, being a super strat, you know, I'm much more of a Les Paul guy. So I struggle with the layout on any super strat, but aside from that, this guitar has really nicely rolled edges on the fretboard, which is very surprising at this price. It blends in with the fret ends very well. You have no sharp frets. It's very easy to play. It's a little too slippery for what I'm used to, being that it has a lacquered maple fretboard. For the way that I play, it feels like my hands are kind of slipping and sliding all over the fretboard, which you may be able to tell by the way that I'm playing it and kind of trying to grasp for the notes, but that's just something that you would get used to over time. If this is one of your first guitars, you probably would have less of a learning curve even than that. It's just a certain spec, you know. It's not something that I typically find on the Les Pauls that I play, put it that way. The fit and finish on this guitar is generally very impressive. I haven't had it for a long time to determine if it has any reliability issues with the electronics, but I don't see that there's any particular reason to think that it would more than average. I do have to say that this guitar, when I was playing it with my rig just as it normally is, comes in on the very loud end of the spectrum. So these pickups have got to be very, very high output, especially the bridge pickup. This guitar is very loud, but actually if I turn the volume all the way off and just play this with no amp, can see that this guitar actually is naturally pretty loud. It's pretty resonant, which in my experience, if a guitar is loud with no amp, then it's going to be loud with an amp. That's because the guitar resonating is what gives it its sound, more so than the electronics. That's more what picks up the sound. And these electronics, like I said, are extremely hot on top of that. I mean, it's pretty loud. So this guitar can push an amp, you can shred on it. It has a pretty flat radius. I think it's a 15-inch radius fretboard, which is very flat for shredding, very slippery. If you're into Strat body types and layouts at all, this will be a breeze for you to play. I mean, this is a really killer Super Strat. I have to say, for the price, probably can't beat this. I mean, I guess you'd have to be able to tie it, but it's pretty good. For what it is, it's pretty good. I've had to eat my words a little bit as far as my skepticism of the Sawtooth brand. I don't think I would buy another one aside from this, because this one is signed by MAB. That's why I got it. But if this type of guitar is your cup of tea, if you like something that's kind of Charvel-ish and you only have $300 to spend or less, this was like $260, $270, I highly suggest trying one of these. They're really, really cool for the price, and actually just a quality guitar to play regardless of the price. So I hope this video may have been helpful for some of you, and if you like this video, don't forget to share it and subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you guys next time.